Hi guys, Tucker here with a new video, and this video will be a short video about my add-ons that I use with this current season 3 of 10.2 Dragonflight. A lot of people actually asked me about what add-on I use or what are my number add-ons, like the things that I showed whenever I'm like hitting someone. You see the numbers, how clean it is, the UI I use for arenas, for everything. I'm going to show you everything. Also, just in general, the add-ons I use to perform in arenas. Of course, you can also have weak auras. Currently, I'm not using them because I don't know. I feel like at one point they're going to remove it, but normally you should be playing with weak auras. I do have a very minimalistic weak aura mindset where I prefer to have like procs for my own spec that can be shown right away and not really procs or things that happened on the screen telling me what is happening. For example, someone that is actually using celestial alignment, for example, as a boomy, I recognize it by just seeing it or via the frames, so I don't need to actually have something tell me whenever something happens because I'm already trained for that. I do make some mistakes, but that's what is good about multi-classing. You recognize a lot of stuff because you already played those specs, so you do recognize everything that is from other specs. But anyways, let's talk really quickly about the damage numbers. So I'm going to show you really quickly what I have. So whenever I'm hitting a enemy, it's quite clean. And you don't see like the mini hits at all. You only see the bigger hits. And even then, you could also go a bit like further beyond. But personally, I like it because again, it shows a bit of bleeds. And sometimes whenever it crits that do a lot of damage, it does like a good sound. For example, whenever I hit a crit above 100k, it does like a bonk sound. Now, unfortunately, I don't crit above 100k as an arms warrior for some reason, because I just do normal hits above 100k. I don't have a lot of crit. But for example, on Destruction Warlock or Elemental Shaman, you will hear a lot of bonk, 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 because it's just is how I put on the add-on. So I use classic numbers. If you want to copy my settings, please do by pausing the video. But you enable it, you disable the blizzard numbers. You could truncate it, but I don't really care about truncating big numbers. I like seeing big numbers. I use the legacy overlap handler. I have 2002 bolt because it feels clean at least. It feels also enjoyable to see. I have a small hits filter, which I don't need to see hits below 12k. So a bleed, for example, or whenever I'm doing like a wind fury attack as an enhancement channel, you don't see like multiple hits on my screen cluttering my screen. That is gone now. So I have a small hits filter. You could also do it even higher, and then you only see the bigger hits, which is a option. To be honest, you don't really need to see like 15k hits because it's so minimal on the HP. Like you have 800k HP or even higher. So what is 15k really? But you can play with that. We have 28 as the size. You could do also a bit bigger if you want to, or a bit smaller. And for the rest, you don't touch anything. I have like a critical text option. So I had non-crits on big crit chains, which is quite nice because again, if you're like doing a lot of criticals, it just shows a lot of criticals in a row. It helps whenever you're playing like Destruction Warlock, for example, or Elemental Shaman. And I also use a small crit filter. To be honest, it can be a bit higher anyways, like 12k as well, but of 13k. But overall, I like those settings. We have a crit sound effect here. You can also put here if you want it with like a SFX, which is also quite nice. But to be honest, I only use the huge crit sound effect for the bigger critical hits. But to be honest, it doesn't really matter. It doesn't go too high. You cannot put it higher than that. So for me, a crit that is really important is above 100k. So I put like a sound to it, which is a bonk, and it's actually quite enjoyable to play around. I like having this option because again, if you're having or if you are playing like someone that has a lot of bleeds, or something that is actually, like for example here you hear a bonk, something that has a lot of multi-hits, it really clutters your screen. For example, if you're playing an assassination rogue, enhancement shaman, affliction warlock, whatever, it can help you. Although affliction warlock, again, there are not a lot of many occasions that you're going to do some bigger hits, but if you are going to filter a few like lesser hits, you can always do that, and it will be a bit more enjoyable to play. I do feel like the strength of World of Warcraft comes from the clarity it has whenever you're fighting, and also for my videos, if I'm like doing some live stream or some videos for the channel, I prefer to have like something very clean so people can enjoy to watch. Again, I also like to watch something clean and something where I can be, whoa, that's a big hit kind of factor. If you have like a bad scrolling combat text add-on, it can really kill the hype for a lot of stuff. What are other add-ons I'm using? So I use Auctionator, but that is pretty much just for the auction house. Normally I use Bagnan, but I always get like errors, so I prefer to play the one bag from Blizzard, which, to be honest, it is a really good one. You go into game, and then I think it is somewhere maybe interface. I don't remember correctly. There's somewhere where you can actually have like one bag, combined bags here. So just go and click combined bags, and it will be just one bag. Like for example, Bagnan. You cannot really see the gold from other characters, but at the end of the day, I mean, if it removes the factor of having to deal with like errors whenever I'm fighting, I'm okay by removing Bagnan until they fix that. I play with battleground enemies. That is like the battleground add-on I use for my enemy plates, not enemy plates, but enemy targeting frames and allies targeting frames. It's really the RBG add-on. Now you can also use it in solo queue RBG and also in random BGs, of course. But overall, I really like that. I'm going to use and toggle test mode. Never mind, it doesn't work here. How do I do that? It doesn't show, unfortunately. But if you watch one of my videos where I talk about like BGs, wait, maybe here? No, never mind. I don't know how I can show you guys. No, excuse me. Now it works. I'm dumb. So this is the battleground size, so 1 to 15, and you can see it shows like this. It's clean. Often not, again, in 8 versus 8, it's way more clean even, but you can see the flag carrier, you can see the healers, the DPSs, and you can also just say, look, we're focusing first DK or second DK if you're playing like normal RBGs. If you're playing solo queue RBGs, at the end of the day, you're not going to communicate too much, but it's going to help you have a clarity. Also, whenever someone is out of distance or you cannot see him, it also becomes a bit darker, and whenever you are like in line of sight or you're very close to him, it brights, so you can actually just know when someone is near you instead of just watching. I like that as well. My other add-ons are big debuffs. Again, I think that's quite standard. It's giving me the bigger frames from fears, stuns. Overall, it gives me, like for example, like this. If someone is feared, I see it here on the nameplates or on my own nameplate. Also see, for example, if I get feared or what. It's always going to be very useful whenever you're playing arenas. What else? Let me see. We're playing with capping as well, so you can actually see when someone is capping, or whenever someone, for example, battleground timers as well. It's always going to be useful. The classic numbers already discussed it. Details, that is my damage meter add-on. I think everyone should have that, because you can then analyze the damage from people. and then do and know accordingly whenever someone is actually doing damage or not. Again, if you're like interested in DKs, you can just click on the DK and see where did the damage come from. Foreign Plague, Death Coil, First Ring Wound, Frost Fever, Score Strike, and then you can also see like, look, is he misplaying somewhere? Or is he playing a specific build? For example, here you see Final Verdict, so you know that he's playing with Final Verdict. Hammer of Wrath, he only cast it 9 times. Is it enough? Is it not enough? Crusading Strike, which is basically just melee strikes from the Spectre, actually critted for 60k, which is quite big. You can just analyze a lot of stuff here. I think it's very important to have that. And a lot of people that don't play with with details don't really understand where the damage is coming from and what is actually killing you in game. Always useful, and I think it's a mandatory talent if you're playing PvP. Omnibar, it is very, very important to play with Omnibar just for already the interrupts and the silences. You can also make adjustments if you want to towards the no, I don't know if I can do that towards the spells. If you want to have also Hammer of Justice to be shown, if you want to have like Stormbolt to be shown, if you want to have Intimidating Shout to also be shown, or Divine Shield to be shown, you can all do that with these. And I think it's also very, very important because, again, if you don't know the CDs and you don't want to be like guessing, putting these into your Omnibar will help you to know what's up and what are CDs. Having the CD of Hajj is very important, but again, Hajj is one of those annoying CDs to track because it has a DR. But for example, Blessing of Freedom, you can track it if you want to. Blessing of Sacrifice as well, it's a 1-minute CD, so whenever it's going to be active, or other like specific stuff, like for example, Die by the Sword, he used it. There is 1-minute 30-second CD, so you can actually track it and know when it is going to be up in the next fight. So I think it's very important in general, but also just for kicks. If you're a caster, if you're not playing with Omnibar, you're actually kind of guessing if someone is kicking you or not. And you try to fake something that is maybe not fakeable because he doesn't have the interrupt. And then at the moment where you're not faking, he has his interrupt, so he's going to interrupt you. So you have to play with Omnibar, I think. Again, you can also just guess or count by yourself if you have like a big brain and you actually count 15 seconds whenever someone is kicking you. That's better, but again, I think your brain power could be used on other areas of in the game. OmniCD, what happens? So we're back with since the lag. You should download OmniCC and OmniCD regardless. It gives you all the things that you should know about cooldowns, and also party cooldown tracker with OmniCD. I think it's way too important to not take it, so do take it. Rested XP to level alts, I use it. Don't ask me where I did have it, but it is useful. We play with Save Queue as well. It's an add-on where you do have a countdown. Sometimes I want to do something, for example, I want to kill a mob or whatever. I do know the exact time I have to actually join the battle, so it's very important. And the best arena frame add-on that you can have is S-Arena Updated 2 by Samus. I want to show you guys what it is. I think personally it is the best one you can use. It is the one that is really clean, gives you all the information you want, and like you see here, it is really a clean add-on. It is an add-on that is actually showing you like in tournaments. I really like that. Everything is updated, so the trinket isn't updated, the racial is also updated. So again, just download it, thank me later. I think it's the best one. I think I used Gladius for a long while, but since Dragonflight I use S-Arena Updated, and now it's updated 2 by Samus, and I actually never have a complaint about arena frames, so just download that. I have top target as well. That is actually useful for arenas and RPGs. It shows you the target, the top target of your party. So if you're playing RPGs and Everyone is targeting the Paladin, for example, then you know, look, you have to hop on the train of target the Paladin. It's like a crosshair kind of thing. I, for now, don't play it because it did bug for me in the beginning of Season 3. But if you wanted to play with it, just download it and you will have a great time, I think. It's also like a crosshair kind of thing. So again, if you like those kinds of targeting add-ons, just go for that. But those are my add-ons, and again, I think I have a lot of compliments about my setup and how clean it is. I will also link the edit mode if you want to have the same as mine. I will share it with you in the comments so you can actually have it, and then you can tweak it however you want. But personally, I play with that and I'm very, very satisfied. Again, I think it's a short video. I hope it is a short video. I think it is. But in general, play what you like, play with what you are comfortable with. Yeah, tomorrow we will have the Elemental Shaman guide, I believe, if I have time. I cannot promise it, but normally it's tomorrow. And I will show you how you can actually grind CR on Elemental Shaman. But if you're interested in knowing the PvP guide for Arms Warrior, it is also live, so I'll put it at the end of the video. But also Enhancement Shaman, the PvP guide one, is also up, so if you want to check that out, you can also check that out.